Hi and welcome. I am joined with Michelle Hamilton, a registered psychologist today, and we're going to talk about, and it's kind of funny timing with Halloween and being scared of different things, but talking about fears and anxiety because it is something that's very important to be able to kind of handle and deal with. And so just starting off, why are people scared of things that they are, certain things, different things, example, snakes, claustrophobia, different reasoning behind why someone would be scared of those things.
Right. Well, I mean, I think some of the things like what you mentioned are really basic, almost like, you know, maybe ingrained, inborn fears that most humans have, and some certainly much more than others, right? And it's probably based in a matter of, you know, survival, you know, like deeply ingrained in perhaps our brain and our cells, you know, this idea of the potential for danger. Right? So really fear is linked to the potential for danger.
Right. And so something like that, I've heard a little bit about the flight or fright mode. And is that kind of what is based behind that fear, that when you're scared of something, you either want to run away from it, or you kind of panic in that way? Is that kind of where it comes from?
Exactly, right. There's some really interesting structures in our brain that are always on the alert for, you know, signs of danger. And a sign of danger can be seen as something we might call a trigger. You know, it's something that would activate a response, and that can bring us into the fight or flight response. And that would be an overactivation of the brain and the nervous system into the stress response, and it does give us energy to either fight or flight, as in flee, run away and escape. Right? And the other alternative to that people may have also heard of is the idea of freeze. You know, in some situations, it's maybe more in a terms of an evolutionary, you know, look at it, there's maybe more likelihood of survival if we go into a freeze mode, which is like playing dead, you know, where it's much more of a matter of being shut down, collapsed.
Right. And so with those kind of reactions, and how can we kind of prepare ourselves? What are there certain tools? Because there are some fears that sometimes you have to just deal with daily.
Absolutely.
If you are scared of elevators or closed spaces and you have to get into that situation, and it's hard to deal with a lot. So how are those kind of, what are those kind of tools that we can use to kind of keep ourselves calm in those situations?
Okay, well, you know, as you say, there's times where fears, you know, are kind of tied to a more general response, and it may be then referred to as anxiety. You know, many people have all kinds of fear, you know, and it becomes sometimes a real driver in their life.
Right.
And so people with high anxiety are fearful of many things and sometimes nothing specific, right? It is definitely necessary to learn ways to kind of help calm down the body and kind of activate the relaxation response in a sense. As we get activated to the stress response, we want to also help our system know how to come back down to the normal zone, the neutral zone, where we feel safe and comfortable and able to think and act and make good decisions. Okay, you know, breathing exercises are the most important and basic ways that people can learn to kind of slow down their system, you know, and kind of get themselves grounded in a sense, like really focused on the sense of being present in the here and now, not so much in the mind, where the mind is maybe taking us to a fearful place, but to be really physically connected to the body, using our breath as an anchor in a way, slowing down and lengthening the breath cycle is a really important strategy for calming down.
Yeah. So with those kind of things, you work here in Lloydminster. If someone wants to reach out and wants to kind of get more into that and meet with you and sit down and kind of work through those kind of fears, how can we reach out to you personally?
To me personally? Well, I have a website in, you know, it's beyondbalance.com. You can Google Michelle Hamilton, psychologist, Lloydminster. I think that brings you to my site. So I do work with lots of folks who have anxiety-related disorders, or sometimes even trauma-related disorders. You know, because as we know, PTSD is often related to an event from the past that was dangerous, overwhelming, fearful. And so there's a lot of people that I work with in therapy to help them overcome, you know, these conditioned responses of fear and being kind of stuck in that chronic state of, you know, fight or flight.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming in today. I really appreciate it. We could talk about this forever, but we'd love to have you come back anytime. And if you would like to get more information, you can definitely check out Michelle's website.